and how to talk to people that we already know to make it stronger. And also the perfect real estate assistant.
Oh yeah. We might push that off till Monday, but I think this, we'll see. But our real estate team was doing the perfect real estate assistant, and we're about to like wrap it up. I see a lot of awesome people on this call. Glad you guys are here. Hi, Katie and Melissa. So we're doing this training with Bill Hagan from the Hagan Group. He's live out in the field. Hey, Bill, would you rather, hey, what's a better lead, man? One that's like, so which lead would you rather have, right? If I came to you and I said, hey, Bill, I have, my college, I know you sell a ton of real estate. My college roommate is looking to sell his house. I gave him all your information. He knows you're going to be calling. Can you please help him sell his house? Or do you want the lead, or do you like the lead that's like, oh, hey, Bill, I know you're in real estate. My neighbor 2 doors down is definitely getting a divorce, and you should go get that listing.
Yeah, I think we'll take A.
We're going to take A, right? Cool. So today we're just going to talk about working a database. I know Bill sells a lot more houses than I do. He works his database like crazy. And we're going to dive in on it. Bill, where would you like to start, man?
Yeah, I guess the first thing is just building the database, right? So having a plan of who to talk to. So if you're a newer agent, the first thing we ask you to do is start building your database, add 10 people a day. And if you're someone who's experienced and you don't have a database, just put it together, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. You could do it in Google Sheets. You could do it on a piece of paper. And it's just going through those people you know. And now with social media, you just put all those people who you have on social media, all your friends and followers, put them on a list. And, I think it's just being systematic. Like Joe said, it's like the appointments that we go on, that they come from personal referrals. Joe, I mean, in your experience, how easy is it going on an appointment when all you have to do is get paper signed?
Yeah, it's really that easy, man. I think I like where you're starting off, man. Like, so like, this is our database, right? On our real estate team, right? So like, this is all it is, guys. This is really simple stuff, right? So like, your database is just, this is it, man. Like, so that it's the person, right? It's Danny Baldwin. It's where he lives. This is it. This is it, man. Like, this is all it is. So we have a calling database and a mailing database. We're going to get to that. So today we're going to touch on how do you create your database? Who should go into it? How do we stay in contact with it? How do we talk to it? How do we pull referrals out of it? That's kind of it, So, like Bill just said, man, people are like, well, what do I do? When I first started in real estate, there was a lot of overthinking about my database, right? There was a ton of it, right? Like, by the way, I put myself in my mailing database. So I see all the mailers that go out. I get one in my mailbox. So if I do like a client event and I see what the client, whatever you're doing, whatever you're sending out to your client, you just put yourself on the list so you see it. But this is it, man, and like, so I have Sam Marks, these are Sam's people, right? So we know whose people are who, right? This is all that's all really like a database is, right? And so, Bill, let's start with like how to create a database, right? So what the agents say is this, and I know my numbers, right? If you're a business person, you should know your numbers. 50% of our business comes from off-market properties. 35% of our business comes from past clients and sphere of influence, right? When you're in the business for a little bit of time, your database becomes your sphere of influence and your past clients, right? So your sphere of influence, right? Everyone always asks me, and Bill, I'll share with you, and then I'm going to ask you to share, please. The new agent will come in and they'll say like, hey, who's my sphere of influence, dude? Again, for me, there was a lot of overthinking about who goes in my database. Is it the guy? I went to so many seminars, like at KW, like it was like build your database, add to it, things like that. So for me, in my experience, I wanted to add people to the database that I was in relationship with, right? So the way that I always define that was, if I was walking past someone on the street, or whatever, at the mall or on the boardwalk, like I would stop and acknowledge. They would stop and acknowledge that I'm like sharing the same space with them, and they'd ask me how I'm doing and generally care, right? Like that's your sphere of influence. It's not the college roommate that was 3 dorms down that you never spoke to, or my mom's got this friend that owns an investment property, like. And again, this is me. Like we do a lot of business because, well, at the Joe Oz Real Estate Group, we do business because we get in a relationship with people. You know, Bill just talked about adding 10 people a day. For us, we do that as well. We add people, but we either have to be in a relationship with them or we have full intentions of being in a relationship with them, right? And like, you know, there's a whole nother training that could, like, we have a farm, right? Those are, Gary Keller calls those the non-Mets, right? There's the Mets and the non-Mets. So I'm talking specifically about the Mets, the people that know me, love me, and want to help me succeed, and the people that know who I am. And so when it comes time to create your database, this is who you're marketing to. And if you're a new agent, or if you're an agent at all, man, like I know agents that I'm friends with that crush real estate and they don't have a database. They just like, and I say to them, like, imagine if you did have a database. What if you were purposeful about marketing to the people that know you? Because for a lot of us, real estate can kind of just be like a popularity contest. That's just the truth. Like I became successful because I just happened to know a lot of people. I was like 28. I was at the age where a lot of people were making moves and it kind of worked. And I did a lot of business. Then I built on that because I continued to market to those people. So when you're creating your database, there was someone that was, you know, when I had to make I got my license in 2008 and I got married in 2010. So between 2008 and 2010, I was preparing for a wedding. And when I was preparing for my wedding, I created a wedding list. And then I realized, like, oh my God, this is my database. So anyone that you like, anyone that I would invite to my wedding, that was my database. And I just had an agent that I was working with, and he was getting married. And I was like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, you already have a database. He's like, what? I'm like, is that invitation list already made? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how many people do you have? He's like, we're inviting 150 people. I said, oh my God, dude, that's your database. You're done. You're like, that's so, because the amount of thought that you would have put into who you would invite to a wedding, that would be your database. And then, you know, if you get stumped, if you're new in real estate and you're creating a database, people are like, well, it's a lot of work to do. Well, guess what? You don't have anything else going on because you don't have any deals, right? Like unless you're closing 3 or 4 deals a month. And if you're on a real estate team, you probably have some leverage, so you still can do it. But, you know, your database is you start with your cell phone, you just go through it line by line, your Facebook, your Instagram, and that's how you create your database. Bill, you want to jump in here with how to create your database and where do you find these people and who you add?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just people who know you, like you, and trust you, right? So just finding more people to put into that database. So how do you meet more people? And, you know, I love the line of, you want to sell more real estate, you have to talk to more people. It's that simple. And not just talking to people, but how do you get face-to-face where they know you? If they've seen your picture, would they know you? If they see you walking down the street, would they stop and say hi? And, you know, just getting, like, when people think of real estate, you want them to think of you, right? So how many people think of real estate when they think of you, or vice versa? So it's just being that real estate, Joe Oz, real estate, you know, Sam Marks, and being that person. When people think about someone buying, selling, or anything real estate related, they think of you, and it's just being top of mind with those people. So,
yeah, I think what really was alarming to me is when I read the MREA book, right, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and they talk about in marketing. In marketing, they say that a consumer can remember up to 7 brands. So what that means is like if I asked you to name soft drinks, you could say Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, whatever. Like you can ramble off 7, no problem, right? And then when it comes to, so when the study was done with real estate, it's 2 on average. Like most people cannot name more than 2. So if you're in Hazlitt, New Jersey, and you say like, hey man, who's the top agent who's the top real estate agent in your neighborhood? They're gonna be like, sometimes they have to reach, right? And so just you'd be surprised with just a little bit of Gary Keller calls it a 33 touch. Just what a little bit of marketing to your database would do, man. It explodes, right? So that was shocking to me. When I read that, I said, oh my God, dude, if they're only gonna remember 2 names, I like my odds, man. If they, they might only remember 1, and that might just be me, or my organization. So, yeah. And so that was huge for me. So adding to the database, that's it, man. Just people that know you, love you, want to see you succeed. Again, also in the we talk about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book because that's the business model that we follow. And they talk about Gary Keller talks about your Mets versus your haven't Mets. Your haven't Mets are something else. Like I said, a great example is a farm, right? If you want to go and farm, 2,000 houses and just hit them over and over and over. Those are your non-Mets. But right now we're talking about your sphere of influence. Bill, what percentage of your business is from your sphere of influence or your database?
It's probably like 60-70%, which is pretty crazy. But, really looking at our numbers and looking through everything, it's like sphere, past client referrals, sphere, past client referral. And then the occasional cold call, this or that. But it's good tracking, because when you see it, look at all the deals and just say, wow, like, why am I spending so much money on these other people I don't know, and should be spending more money on the people I do know and more time, right? I spend a lot of time chasing the people I don't know, and I should spend more time chasing the people I do know.
Our team or whatever, we had like 2 problem clients recently that like yelled at us, or mad at us. They couldn't say enough bad things about us. And by the way, those are the ones that like we like went above and beyond for them, bent over backwards. Those were strangers, right? Like those were complete strangers. They were expired listings. They were like ones. But by the way, these are both listings that we sold for over asking price. Like really just gave really great service. But I think one of them didn't get an under contract rider, and someone didn't order a CO. Like we didn't do a CO for a condo in Neptune, or we didn't, whatever. That's that, right? So that's kind of what happened. So I want to work with the people that are going to be fun to work with, right? And you've got just look at the people that are from your database versus the ones that aren't. And I say to agents, so if I need, Bill, if you were to say to me right now, Joe Oz, you got to get 3 listings, what's the fastest way you're going to do it? I'm going to go right to my database. I know for a fact, like I knew, a lot of us know our story. Like I jumped back into production in New Jersey in November, and that's the first thing I did. Nothing when I jumped back into production in New Jersey, that's the first thing I did. I just called my database and instant listing appointments. Boom, boom, yeah, boom. And if it's not instant, they're going to call you in a week or 2 because those people are on your mind. Now now we're going to, Bill, I'd like to just kind of, actually, I'm going to stop here, man. Who here on this call has a database that's like, that they put together, that they work? Sam Marks does. Anyone else?
One. Just started working mine last month.
Awesome. Cool. Let's start with Mike Booz, man. Tell me about your database. Who's in it? How did you put it together? How many people?
So when you were asking William earlier about the database, one thing that came to my mind is, when I started, I used to be a guitar teacher. So I had a bunch of names of people I used to taught, and I knew a lot of people in the community. So I thought like I should call everybody and ask them, hey, will you want to be? But that gave them an idea to, an opportunity to say no. So I just went into the public records on, on our MLS, looked up their addresses, got about 100 people, and boom, started a monthly newsletter program with them.
So do you still do a monthly newsletter?
Still do. Actually, so now I switched it to bi-monthly, and it's all automated. I just, it happens automatically, 70 cents a unit.
Got it. Is that like a newsletter, like a real estate newsletter, or what is it?
Yep. It's called Property Insights. It's like, like half a size of paper and, a couple of things in there. And I'm actually doing it for my team now too. I had all my team members put together, so many people, and now we're doing that for them as well.
Guys, Mike's a mega agent in Maryland. Mike does a ton of business. We, was a good buddy of mine. Mike, so let's just jump into that. How else do you stay engaged with your database, man, besides that mailer?
So I have so many more ideas to do. Like I like to do the Popeyes, the Buffini stuff, call people. I check in on them on Facebook, just see how they're doing. I mean, main thing is just being around, you know what I mean? Calling, like you say, checking on people, just kind of being around them and, just engaging, man, just being normal.
Yeah, but how do you do that, right? So like you got to talk about it. So like you and Bill Hagan, right? And there's some other people like Katie, like these people, even like Sam Marks. Sam Marks is new, but it shows up like people call you, like they associate you with real estate. There's got to be a way that you did this, whether it was purposeful or not. Can you pinpoint what it is, man? Or you just like buy everybody a drink when you're at the bar? Like, what is it?
Yeah. So this is, I was trying to talk to this about an agent in my marketplace yesterday that I'm close with, but I didn't want to be offensive to her because we compete. But what I wanted to say is we really aim to do such a good job on the transaction, man, from beginning to end, to over communicate, to, under promise and over deliver on every occasion that they can't help but tell their friends and family. And I even work that line in when I'm working with people.
Are you talking about the promise script?
Yep.
So my coach, dude, that's so funny. I was talking to Allie about this like Gil or Allie, whatever. We're doing our team retreat coming up, right? And part of the team retreat is we're gonna go over the promise script and we're gonna implement it into our business. So that's cool. This came up. So tell me about the promise script and what is it?
So this is what I say to people. I say, look, I know you probably think I'm going to pressure you to buy a house. Look, it's no pressure. Whether you buy this year or whether you buy next year or 2 years from now, I'm going to need to make money then too. I'm not going anywhere. So you can relax and you take your time. And you might think I'm just in this to just sell you a house, Mr. Smith or Mrs. Smith. But realistically, I want to not only sell you a house, I want to do such a good damn job of selling that home, but that you can't go help but tell all your friends and family member about me. And then I laugh and they laugh and it's all good, you know?
I love it. So that's, if you guys aren't aware, that's the promise script, right? And you can tweak, it's like any script, right? You can tweak it however you want. But basically when you meet someone, you tell them that you promise them that you're going to do such a great job that you ask them to promise you to give them, to bring you a referral. I think before the deal closes or before they find a house or something like that. Where's that from? Is that a Buffini thing or what is that from?
I kind of borrowed little bits and pieces from everywhere, and it's just, something I put together for me. You know what I mean? That's just, I didn't get it anywhere. It's just something I just kind of made up,
You just ask for the referral, right? And it works.
Well, so that's the other thing. I don't ask for a referral before it closes. I tell them, hey, look, you don't have, we can wait till it closes, because I want you to see what kind of job we do.
Right.
And by the end, man, I mean, people are giving me and my team tips. You know what I mean? They want to do something for us because they just felt like we did such a good job for them.
Dude, that's awesome. Is there any other tips you can give us for staying in and how long have you been in the business?
15 years. 2003, I got started buying rental properties. 2004, I got an auction company and I got my license in 07.
That's right. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for sharing your story. Anything else you want to add, man, with staying in touch with your database?
So yeah, man. So listen, man, get some kind of program like a newsletter where you're mailing stuff out. Don't make it one thing you do, make it 10 things you do. Put stuff on Facebook. The Brian Buffini Popeyes is a great idea. I know we're dealing with COVID and it's a little difficult now to get in front of people, but I think we got to engage. It is hard to call people when we're busy, but if you're not busy, call your people. And I guess that what I would say the most important thing is to really, I love that line, come from contribution. Do something good for people and don't expect it in return. Because you might, I'm a Christian and I always put it back to God. You might do like 10 things for somebody and, you know what I mean? And they might never do one thing for you, but God will bring it through another. You give through the front door, it can come through the back door, kind of.
I love that, man. And then also, is someone chasing you around your house while you're on the Zoom call? Or
no, I just do. That's just, I'm like a nervous person, man. I just do that.
I'm just messing with you, dude. I love you. Whoever's chasing you, I'll call the police. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It's a lot of coffee, bro.
Dude, you're like me. I love you, bro. Thanks for hopping on, man. Okay, cool, man. Anyone else want to touch base on their database and how they stay in touch with it?
Well, one thing is, I'm still like, it's funny because I'm actually here at location with Bobby Bates from Ocean City, and we're shooting a house in Lincroft. And it's funny that this house I'm at, it's Eileen Donnelly, and I'll show you down the street. A house like literally 4 doors down is a house I sold like 6 months ago. And the owner there, Megan, who's like an amazing friend of mine, and also Megan's referred me, I'm going to say like probably about 15 sellers in the last 2 years, right? So this is a house on her street. And Eileen's like, I know Megan told me that I have to use you when I sell my house. And so think about that. Having someone who refers you like 15 transactions, 15 listings in 2 years. And it's just because I'm top of mind. And, Megan, anyone who's thinking about selling, and she's just like, you got to use Bill. You got to use Bill. You got to use. And think about how easy business is when you have someone who's like, she could refer me better than I could refer myself.
Right.
And it's pretty powerful. Like, sitting here right now at a house in Lincroft and doing the photos because, someone in my database referred me the business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really rad. Now, hey, I wanted to touch Katie, if you wouldn't mind chiming in. You stay in touch with your your database just through social media, I feel like, and you kind of crush it. Does that sound about right? I'm putting her on the spot.
Hi. No, I don't really reach out to my database. I need to. I just send like a holiday card out every year. That's what my database is pretty much for. But I need to like start adding to it and stuff, and like reaching out to people.
Awesome. So I'm going to run through what we do on our team, right? So we have this database, right? We have these people in here. Now what do we do? So actually let me am I sharing my screen right now? I'm not, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull something up. Sam Marks, are you talking to your database?
Yeah, well, the team talks to my database.
Right. So we're gonna all right, cool. So let me.
And then I do Instagram and Facebook for, just for closings, that sort of stuff. I do a little bit of traction through that.
All right, awesome, cool. So on our real estate team, what we do here is we do a mailer every month, right? And what's important about our mailer, this is just an example of like a mailer that we did. I just randomly pulled this up, right? So like what we do is we do 12 mailers a month, and it looks like this. So we have a graphic design artist who creates our mailers. Our mailers, so what's really important to us is our branding. Our mailers look the same. We use this pink color, we use our logos and things like that. I don't know what else. So, okay, here's another one, dude. Free first-time home buyer seminar, right? Look, it all looks the same. So if I was to cruise through these mailers, right, they all look exactly the same, right? This is California, right? This is Mission Viejo, California, right? They all still look the same, right? So all of our stuff is branded. It all looks the same, things like that, right? So, let me move this out of the way. So like, you guys get the idea, right? So what happens here is we use our branding, everything looks the same, and we stay consistent, right? So all of our mailers, they all look the same. They go out once a month, right? So every single month to our mailing database, everybody gets everyone gets them. Hold on, let me open this up. Everybody gets a mailer every single month. So what happens is we have an art person who creates our mailers, so they all look exactly the same. Now, what has to happen here is people are this day and age. Everyone know, like, you just know when things are like fake, right, and not real. Like, we want substance and we want the real. We want to go deep with people. So all of our stuff is custom made. It's all from us. So like the old school way of doing real estate, when you would send like the pecan pie recipe, the New York Giants schedule, that stuff, like that's just not what we do. Like everything we do is custom for that month. And then a lot of what we do is a huge part of our we mail our database 12 times a year, and we try to just engage our database, right? One thing that we do is we do client events. Again, like Mike mentioned, it's been really, really hard with COVID and things like that. But we call our database I call my database 4 times a year, right? So every quarter there is a phone call to my database. If I have it takes a long time. Usually takes like a week and a half maybe of my prospecting time to call through my database. But I 100% do it. I do it. I call through it and I just say hello. It usually has something to do with, it's usually around an event that we're having. This year we've been like hiring. So like our third quarter Sphere call was, hey, we're looking for an administrative person. Who do you know? Our second quarter phone call was about COVID. It was like, hey, you know, we did a mailer that went out that had to do with resources in the area, like to help with rent, nonprofits. Like it was 2 parts. If you wanted to help with what was going on, or if you needed help, we had resources, we provided them. And then we just basically called through our entire database. And we just said, hey, we know things are crazy. Is there anything that you need? And whenever we call our database, you know, we make it about them. Even when we were looking for an admin, like next we're looking for a calling person. So I'll probably call about that. And so we make it about the client. We say, hey, you know what? We like to get into business with someone that we know. We're looking for an opportunity. If we can help someone through our database, our friends, our clients, things like that, we'd like to get in business with those people. What we're going to do for, so we're planning the client event thing has been really hard, but it was a huge, when we do, like, we could do a whole training on like client events, which we have done trainings in the past, but when we have a client event, we have an 8x8 around it, which basically means there's 8 touches that we attach to every event. You know, it's an email, an evite, a social media post, a phone call, an invitation mailed in the mail. It's all these things, right? So that's where we get, excuse me, that's where we get the majority of our touches to our database. And what's really, really cool is if you can find something to do for the community or for your database, that's what you should be communicating to them. We've been struggling with figuring out what to do next for our database, and we just came up with a really great idea that I don't really think my team even knows about yet, because I haven't gotten there yet. But what I'll just share this with you guys, and if you guys can use it, that would be awesome. You know, on our real estate team, we are going to be calling our entire database, and what we usually do is last year we had a huge Santa event, right? So we have a Santa, we have a professional photographer, we have food, and it's awesome. I'm kind of I'm bummed that we can't do it. Like, I'm a social person. I like seeing people. What's cool about real estate is, like, I've been doing it long enough where, like, the person whose house I sold them their next house, and now they bring their kids to the event. Like, that's really cool. But what we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to block out about a week. We're thinking like a week, like 5 days. And we are going to, we're hiring photographers. We're going to call our database, and we're going to say, you know what, we usually have a Christmas event. We usually have a Breakfast with Santa event with photos. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that this year, but we do want to do something nice to say thank you to our clients and our database and our friends who refer us business. What we would like to do is we'd like to offer you a family photo in front of your home. We have a photographer hired who's going to come to your house and take a photo of you, and you can use it for your Christmas cards. You can use it as your family photo for this year, but it's totally free of charge. And we're going to be delivering like an ornament. Like, we're going to do like a Joe Oz Group branded ornament. And so we're aligning that. We're literally working on that right now. I don't have, like, I got to figure out the particulars. I'll be working on that this weekend, but that's what we're going to do. And I think it's going to blow our clients' socks off, you know? And I think it's coming from contribution. It's like doing something awesome. And, like, I don't know, man. I'm just psyched about it, actually. And that's what I'm going to do. So now when I pick up the phone, you know, when you go through like Bold at Keller Williams, and you go through like we talk about Buffini and things like that, like, what Mike was saying about the pop by, this picture idea is great because I don't have to do it. So it's leverage. You know, I get to make the phone call. I don't have to be there, but I get to go and meet with all of our clients, and it's a really nice personal touch. But like what I found was when I started calling my database, the original script was, hey, it's Joe Oz. Yeah, just calling to say hello. I just wanted to remind you that I am still in real estate, and I was calling to see if there's anyone that you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. You know, the first 3 times I did that, I felt horrible because I felt bad and weird because it was about me. It was like what I wanted, right? And then I kind of switched it, and I just switched it up, man. And now, like, I just like found nice things that I can do for people, because there's 2 different. A phone call can be perceived, a sales call can be perceived in 2 different ways, right? So, like, there's one phone call where, you know, I'll say like, hey, it's Joe. I'm calling, like that phone call I just made. If I got that phone call and I hung it up and my wife said, who was that? I'd say, oh, that's Joe Oz. He's looking for business. But if there was a phone call that said, hey, we're doing an event, we're doing family photos in front of your house. If you'd like it, we have a photographer scheduled out November blank to November blank. We're going to be doing your town on this day. If you'd like, we can be there to take a photo of you, and then we can give it to you guys. And you can use it for Christmas cards. And we also have a small gift we'd like to drop off. You know, is that something you might be interested in? Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, let me talk to my wife. That sounds cool. By the way, awesome. You know, Austin, the market's crazy. If you have any questions, let me know. And, you know, do you know of any, you know, who do you know that's looking at, who do you know that has real estate plans for 2021? That phone hangs up, and my wife says, who was that? I'll be like, oh, it's Joe Oz. He invited us. He's doing this cool thing. He's going to do family and photos in front of our house. Is that awesome? So, like, it's just a different perception, man. And that's what I want. Cause, like, really, like, selling houses is awesome, but, like, engage, like, I don't know, the other part's fun and cool, and giving back is really, you know, what do they say? Like, if, you know, you worry about helping other people get what they want, and then you always get what you want, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, that's what we're going to do. And I've built all of our touches around, client events. That's what we're going to be doing next. And that's pretty much how we stay engaged. I'm going to stop talking right now, see if anybody wants to chime in. Any questions? Anyone want to add anything?
Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to call my photographer right now and do that with everybody that are right after this. That is such an amazing idea. And I have a person that takes like our family's photos who's in town, and everybody I've sold. I mean, that is so ingenious. And I will be doing that immediately after this phone call. So
thanks, John.
What up?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for the shout out, man. That's awesome.
All right, that's it.
I am really smart. That's my wife. That's a dad joke. That's a dad joke. If Evan Beach was here, he would love it. Thanks, John. I love that, man. So the other thing I hear back, one thing that I always hear from agents is new agents is they're like, guys, please hear me out, dude. If you do not have a database, Katie, I'm talking to you. I love you. Please listen to me. If you do not have a database, if you're a new agent, if you've been doing if you sell tons of real estate like Katie and you don't have a database, please do this. Please do this. Either it's the time of year. So the third quarter is over, you guys. I'm not wearing a watch, but the third quarter is over, right? So we're going into the fourth quarter, right? Katie Roberts was just like, well, I need to talk to my people. I send them a Christmas card and a magnet. By the way, Katie, if you're going to do one thing, do it right. Your magnets look awesome. I'll tell you that. Your magnets are awesome. I see them on people's refrigerators when I'm in town. But do this. This is the time of the year where people are sending out holiday cards, right? It's that simple. If you don't have a database and you need to start one today, start calling your friends and your family, and because people will be like this, Joyce, how do I get an address? Joyce, how do I get it's simple. Hey, Katie, what's up? It's Joe. Hey, what's up? Cool. I'm just giving you a call. You know, it's been a crazy year, but you know, I'm excited, man. I'm doing something special for the holidays. I'm getting my Christmas card list together, my holiday card list. I'm going through all my contacts, and I just realized I don't even have your address. What's your address? You're done. You're done. And then that can be your sphere call for the fourth quarter, you guys. Hey, by the way, I'm doing my Christmas cards. I'm just calling to see. I realize I don't have your address, and I gotta get by the way, if you use a script, send out Christmas cards. Send out Christmas cards. Should be doing it anyway. And by the way, what Sam Marks just said, if you're on a team, we send them out for you, right? So that's kind of it, guys. That should be like an Easter egg, man. Right now, this time of year, call everyone, and that's, you know, it's a really great touch, man. And the secret about your database and real estate is you just have to call them and ask them how they're doing, right? People are like, how am I going to bring up real estate? How am I going to get the referral? How blah, blah. You know what the secret is they know what you do, man. It's going to come up. They're going to ask you how's business, right? And then you just say, great, man, cool. By the way, I have listings are flying off the shelf. If there's one thing I need right now, it's a listing. Who do you know that's looking to make a move in 2021? That's your script, you guys, for the rest of the year. This should be coming out of your mouth to every person you see. Oh, man, dude, if there's one thing we need, it's listings, man. We just don't have any, not because we're not listing them, because they're just flying. Who do you know is looking to make a move, you know, before the end of the year? Or who do you know is looking to make a move in 2021? And
yeah,
what's that, John?
Letting them know that, like, the success you're having selling homes. Like, hey, I listed a house, we had 18 offers, and we're literally 40,000 over asking price. So who do you know that could use an extra $40,000 for their house? Right? I mean, that's pretty powerful. And saying, like, look, you might be able to get an extra $40,000. You might get $40,000 over your appraised value. Because there's a lot of people who are thinking about selling maybe in a year or 2 years and say, hey, you know, I have a buyer, they put an offer on a house and we were 25,000 over asking price and we didn't get it. So talking about the things that we're doing right now, things we're seeing. So, hey, if you know anyone's thinking about selling, that might be a good time.
That's awesome.
Because who doesn't like an extra 50,000?
It's true, man. Also, there's another idea. So, like, again, for me, I just like to just engage with people. Another way you can engage with your database, you don't have to do it. If you do the picture thing or whatever, we'll be doing this as well. I'm going to say it out loud. That way we have to do it. Like, so I'm uncomfortable because we're doing things that we haven't done in the past. It's easy for me. Like, I have a system for a Santa event. I have a system for a what, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing new things. But one of the things that we want to do is we want to do, so the Monmouth County Food Bank, it's right there in Tinton Falls. It's like right on the circle. And you can call your database and you can tell them that you're going to be dropping off bags for people to clear out their pantry and collect them for the food bank. That's kind of it, man. You could put, like, when you drop the bags off, you can like put your business card and whatever. And it's just a way to it's just a reason to call your database, and it doesn't look like you're looking for business. And you're actually like doing something good, which is kind of awesome too, you know? Like, I love that, man. And when you're showing up and you're coming from contribution, that's when, you know, like, it's like my man Mike was saying, you know, like, that's when things show up and that's when things are really good. So like, hey, you know what, you know, like, we know people's pantries fill up, you know, we're doing donations to the food bank. We're going to be dropping off on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be dropping off paper bags, and then we're going to be picking them up on Monday. All you have to do is leave them on your doorstep. If you like to be involved, we're dropping off the bags, or you put it outside, we're going to pick them up. Most of the time you don't have to drop off the bags. This works also really great for farming. If you just hang a bag on everyone's door, and then the whole neighborhood knows that you're collecting food, and then you collect a ton of food, that becomes like an awesome like social media thing too. Like, we did it one year and we like took photos at the food bank, you know, with all the food we donated. And there's like a thing where it says, you fed this many, you brought this many meals or whatever. And, you know, that's it. And so when we, that's really all I got, man. And then when we add, so like, as your deals close, so we have a closing checklist. When our transactions close, we have a calling database and a mailing database. And when a deal closes, if we want, our admin has to make a decision whether those people, we want to stay in contact with these people. If we don't, so like, if these people if they're 80 and they're moving to Florida and we're never going to see them again, they're probably not getting added to the database. If they're moving down the street and we know them, we've gotten in a relationship with them, they're a young family, we're adding them to, we put their address into our mailing database. And if it's a husband and a wife, or if it's two people, we put both of them into our calling database. You know, one lesson I did learn was I had a database that I was contacting and calling, and I was calling sure enough, man, I was calling the husband he was calling I was calling the database when I should, man. And then I saw their house up for sale, and I called him like, dude, what's up? You didn't tell me. He's like, yeah, he's like, you know what he said to me? He's like, yeah, I don't make those decisions. That's my wife. He's like, I just pay the bills and live here. So like, if I would have been calling his wife, she's the decision maker, right? So like, don't make the mistake, like, you know, call both, call the husband and the wife, and stay in, or call the husband and the husband, or whatever. Stay in relationship with all the owners, you know, and get in a relationship with all of them. That's kind of all I got, man. That's what I have prepared. Bill, do you want to add anything? Does anybody want to add anything or open up for questions?
Yeah,
Hey, Joe, I got a question for you. Joe?
Yes.
So who makes that decision? Like you said, if they're 80 and they're moving to Florida, or if they're, you know, millennial and they just moved in town and you know they're going to feed you, who decides? Do you decide that, or somebody on your team?
So the admin will have a conversation. So our admin gets in a relationship with the person, and they should pretty much know at the end of the transaction, like, this is, and by the way, we have like nightmare clients too, where it's like, you know what, peace, see you later, you know, like, thanks
Right.
for nothing, you know, like, that's rare, but like, they pretty much know at the end. And then it'll simply, we work in we communicate in our CRM or in our Slack channel, and it'll just be like a quick question. She'll like, Allie would ask, like, if it's Gil's listing, you'd be like, hey, are we adding this person to the database? Cool, person, perfect. But they pretty much make the decision. They'll know. So our admin gets into relationship with our clients, so they should know. The admin would know better than we would, really.
Cool. Also, too, I would let you know I did share that newsletter company in the chat if anybody wants it, the link.
Dude, thank you, man. And then
Thank you.
also, like, so our mission statement on our real estate team is the Joe Hodge Group is here to help our clients achieve their goals while helping our team members achieve theirs. And the whole meaning behind that mission statement is that we're putting other people's goals ahead of ours. Like, we're helping other people get what they want before we get what we want. And so part of in our pipeline, not only is it like client name, address, price point, listing agent, it says goal. So we all on our team, we all understand our client's goal. And so when you understand their goal, you know whether you're going to be adding them to the database or you're going to, like, they're a lifer or not.
Cool.
Anybody else? Bill, you want to add anything?
Yeah, great job, Joe. It was touch it up, and never too late to start, right?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, if you don't have a database, that's all the more reason to start one. Call your people, man. Like, call it and use the events. Anyone want to I'm just gonna open up for questions. Anybody have any questions? Was this valuable? Did you guys? I hope this was helpful.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
That's awesome. All right, cool, guys. What we'll do is on our team, we're gonna touch on Purge real estate assistant. I'm gonna touch on it on Monday. For my team, and then I think that's it, guys. We're gonna end it here. Thanks for joining us, guys. And we'll pop in. We'll figure out a training for next week and let everybody know what we're doing.
Peace.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Good to
Bye,
see
guys.
you.
Later
Bye.
on.